Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be sharing something that has been so vital to me over the last few weeks, but also just over the last few years. I come back to this anytime that I'm feeling like my mental health needs a little more attention. And honestly, I should always do this and then I would never need to come back to it, but here we are. So I'm going to be sharing my daily checklist that I use whenever I'm feeling extra anxious, extra depressed. I'm somebody who deals with both of those things, and I am sure if you're watching this video, you are also. So this checklist is something that I created a few years ago when I was just going through a really bad burst of anxiety. Like for a few months, I just had horrible anxiety, like I hadn't had in years, and I just did not know what to do about it. So I created this little daily checklist where I would just go through all of these things that I could do every day and make sure I did them, and they would just make me feel a little bit better. So I think this checklist is not like a cure-all. It's not going to make you feel like you don't have any anxiety or you don't have any depression, but it will keep you at a good baseline. So instead of being like all the way down here, like in the trash, you'll be up here, like you'll be chill. You'll be okay. You won't be like ecstatic, but it'll keep you at a good baseline. And I think if you deal with any of these things, that probably sounds really appealing to you, because I know it does to me. So this is my daily checklist that I use to deal with my mental health. It really helps me. And everything on this list, there are 7 things. Yep, 7 things. They're free. You can do literally everything on this list for free. You can also pay to do some of them depending on how you want to do it, but everything here you can do for free, and honestly, it doesn't take that much time. You could do them in maybe an hour or 2 each day, like spread throughout your day, and it will just make you feel so much better. So, here we go. Okay, number 1, journal. So, this is my notebook. I have been obviously journaling in here. It's filling up quickly. I've gone through many of these notebooks over the last few years. Journaling is something that, it's not a new concept, it's journaling, right? But I read this book a few years ago called The Artist's Way. I don't remember the author, but I'll put the book in the description box below. And she talks about something called morning pages, which is freehand writing. You literally just put your pen down on the paper, you start writing, you write for 3 pages, literally like whatever comes into your brain, and you don't pick your pen up, and you just write 3 pages of that every morning, and that is what she calls morning pages. It's kind of like a data dump for your brain. I have been doing this since 2017. It's like my longest lasting habit, and it's to the point where even if I stop for a little bit and I kind of fall off of it, I will get back on it, like no problem. It's really the one habit I've been able to create and keep consistently, and it helps so much because it's just getting everything out of your brain. Like if you've ever seen Harry Potter and they take the wand, Dumbledore, and he pulls memories out of people's brains, that's what it feels like. You're just like dumping everything out onto the page. And I don't know about you, but usually when I wake up, like if you're anxious, your thoughts are swirling, right? Like you're like, I have to do this. Like I have to put my laundry later. I have to go grocery shopping. I have to think about this memory that happened to me 5 years ago. Like lots of things are going on. So you just write them all down. Now, I don't do it so strictly anymore. Like I don't have to do 3 pages a day, and I don't have to like never pick my pen up off the page. I think that's a good way to get started, but it's honestly not necessary. Just do the action of like writing down your thoughts every day and doing a data dump of your brain in the morning to like give yourself a fresh start to the day. Sometimes I write 1 page, sometimes I write 5 pages. It just depends. And yeah, I do this while I'm drinking matcha in the morning. Like I get up, I make my drink, I get back into bed, and I journal. And it's a really good way to start the morning. And also, if you're not a morning person, it's a good way to accomplish something early in the morning without having to be fully awake. I am not a morning person. It takes me a while to wake up, and journaling really doesn't require that much energy. So that's number 1. Number 2 is gratitude. Now, I feel like this is probably something you've heard before. it doesn't sound like it would make you feel better necessarily, especially if you're in kind of like not a great place. But it's a really good thing to add to your routine every day, and like that act of doing it every day over and over and over again, once you do it, will help you feel better. I do it in the morning and at night. So basically when I'm doing my journaling in the morning, at the end of that, I'll just make sure I write 5 things that I'm grateful for. So I'll write literally, today I am grateful for, and then just write like whatever comes to my brain. It could be my family, it could be a book I read, it could be that the sun is shining, it could be that it's raining, it could be that I'm still in bed, like it could be literally anything. And yeah, like whenever you write things that you're grateful for, you're gonna feel grateful, and it's like a little boost of like joy and happiness as opposed to like not feeling that great. So even when I don't feel good, whenever I write the things that I'm grateful for, I still feel grateful for them, if that makes sense. So there are other like journals you could get, I guess. There's like the 5-minute journal, which I think is also a gratitude journal that asks you like, you know, what's 3 things you did today that you're grateful for, and like quick questions. But honestly, like, you don't need to spend your money on that. If you have a notebook and you're journaling anyways, just literally write the things that you're grateful for in the morning and when you go to bed, and I promise you, it's very helpful. Okay, number 3, meditation. Now, I feel like a lot of people think that they can't do meditation because it's hard. They're like, I can't meditate, I do it wrong, I'm always like thinking, I can't like quiet my mind. Duh. That's the point. Nobody, unless you're like an expert meditator who has been doing this every day for their whole life, which I'm assuming you're not, your brain's not going to be quiet. That's literally not the point. The point is to sit down, take a few minutes to slow down, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Connecting your breath to your brain and to your body, it's scientifically proven to help you. Now, I can't go into all the science, I'm not a scientist, but look it up. It's a fact. So meditating every day is just so important. Literally, if you've never done it before, start with 1 minute a day, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. But just know that when you're meditating, thoughts are gonna come in and out of your head, and that's okay. You can just think something, and when you realize like, oh, okay, I'm thinking now, just focus on your breath again. And then the thought will pass you by. And that's what it's used for. It's mindfulness, right? Like, it's supposed to kind of help you detach from your thoughts so you don't get so obsessed with them. So yeah, you're supposed to think. That's your brain. And when you think something, just let it pass by. Now, there are apps that, again, you can pay for. There's like Calm, Insight Timer, Headspace. Headspace is my favorite app if you want to use one. It just has like really good guided meditations, and also Andy, who is the guide, he like voices all the meditations. His voice is just so beautiful that it's really relaxing to listen to. But if you don't want to pay for an app, or you're just not in the position, you can just meditate by yourself. What I do every morning after I've journaled and done gratitude is I just set a timer on my iPhone I usually do it for like 10 minutes. If I'm really not feeling it, I'll do it for 5. But typically I just set a timer for 10 minutes. I put the timer next to me. I close my eyes. You can do it laying down or sitting down, whatever you want. Like, just get comfortable. And I just like either put my hands on my stomach or on my legs, and I just breathe in and out, and I focus on my breath. When something pops into my head, I realize I'm thinking, like, okay, I just refocus on my breath again. And I just sit there and do that for 10 minutes. It helps rewire your brain. Trust me, it's good. You need to slow it down and take some time for yourself every day. And that is one of the most important things that you can do. Number 4 is supplements and vitamins. So I'm not going to list the things that I take every day. I'm not going to suggest vitamins for you to take. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. Everybody has different vitamins and supplements that work for their body. But if you know what those are, take them every day and like make it a part of your routine. And if you don't know what those are, then you can work with like your doctor, or you can do some research for yourself and figure out what those should be. But like incorporating those into your daily routine actually helps your mental health, right? Because you're giving your body more of what it needs to function, and that includes your brain. So what I do with my supplements now is like I have certain ones that I take in the morning, and I have certain ones that I take at night. So that's on this checklist. So I always remember, like when I look at this list, I'm like, oh right, I haven't taken my vitamins. I've gone through phases where I've taken lots of vitamins and supplements, and so I've done like pill organizers, like a really old person. My favorite one is from Amazon, so I'll link it down below. But yeah, I've done that, and right now I'm at the point where I'm not taking as many, but I still am taking some. So I have them in my cabinet in my kitchen where like everything is, like my snacks, my tea, or like I go in there a lot and I always see them, so it reminds me to take them. So I take a few in the morning, and then at night I do the same thing. I take the ones that I take at night before I go to bed, and yeah, it just supports your brain, supports your overall health, and putting it on a checklist is like a good way to incorporate it into your routine every day. Okay, number 5 is to do something creative or productive. Now, I don't think it's realistic to do something creative and productive every single day because we have lives, we have jobs, things to do. So I like to try to incorporate one of those things per day. Something creative could be like painting or drawing, doing a crossword puzzle, dancing around your room, listening to a podcast, like literally anything that you want to do that's just like fun and brings you joy. That's creative. And then productive things that I think are good are like cleaning your apartment, organizing your dressers, getting rid of old clothes or donating them. What else? Like doing your laundry, going to the drugstore and buying like toothpaste and shampoo, things like that. If you do one of those things per day, just like a quick errand or spending like a little bit of time doing something that brings you joy, you'll have accomplished something for the day, and that will make you feel good. It's like you didn't waste your literal entire day just not feeling good. You did one thing for yourself. So I like to check that off every day, and it's different every day, and you can kind of like plan based on your day what you're going to do. So if you know you need to do laundry tomorrow, then you already know that you're going to be doing something productive for yourself, and you already have that planned out. Number 6. Perhaps the most important item on this list, for me, I was ignoring this a lot. Like, of this checklist, this one was the one that I was kind of like phoning it in, and that is exercise. Now, you would think, like, okay, exercise is important, duh, but you know what? When you're depressed or you're anxious, it's probably the last thing you want to do is move your body. Now, I have realized that exercise is the most important thing on this list. It is number 1. It has to get done every day. Otherwise, like me personally, I could do all these other things and they will help, but they're not enough. Like I need that number 6. I need exercise in my life every day. So there's so many ways that you can exercise that range from like totally free to like paying for a class. I've been doing a combination lately. I love walking, like just taking long walks around my neighborhood, listening to a podcast or music, or sometimes I just will not listen to anything, like a 30-minute walk, an hour walk, like just go outside and walk. That is exercise. There's a step counter on the iPhone. You can download a step counting app, and you can see your progress of like how many steps you've walked, how many miles you've walked, and it feels really good. You could also run. I don't run. I like to start, but that's another free thing that you could do. And then I do classes from Y7 online. They have a paid membership with like tons of classes every month. It's only $16 a month, so that's not like too crazy or unmanageable. And I'll link their information down below as well. But you can also find tons of yoga classes on like YouTube and Instagram if you really don't want to pay for anything. And then lastly, I have started going to F45, which is a workout class. They have them all over the US. It stands for like functional 45 minutes. So it's a lot of like body weight exercises, weighted exercises, and cardio. depending on the class, and that is like a more high intensity workout, which I'm finding is really, really helpful to incorporate into my routine, especially when you really just are depressed or anxious. Again, like doing that exercise, a high intensity exercise, there's no time for you to think. You have to focus on what you're doing. You have to be in the moment. It forces you to shut your brain off for however long, so for F45, for 45 minutes, and the endorphins after that are just so magical. It's just like the best feeling ever. So like realizing that exercise on this checklist is like a necessity for how you're gonna feel throughout the day. Plan your workouts for the week in advance and go to them. Just don't even think about it. Just think like, I don't feel good. Okay, I have to exercise today. That's been the number one most important thing that I have realized lately about this checklist, is that's really important. So I try to get my workouts done in the morning now every day, because otherwise I get like less motivated, I don't want to do it, and I can really easily try to talk myself out of it. So kind of after I go through my morning routine, which is usually journaling, gratitude, and meditation, then I will exercise. Okay, last but not least, number 7 is go outside. Now, this one is good because honestly, if you're doing some of these things, you can kind of incorporate it, right? Like if you're going to the drugstore to do your productive errand for the day, you're going outside. So mission accomplished. If you're going to an exercise class, you're going outside. Or if you're going for a walk, you're still going outside. But honestly, just leave your house or your apartment once a day. Even if it's just to walk around the block, like leave, go outside, get some fresh air. You need it. It's just so important to like get out into the world, and it just can shift the way that you feel and give you some new perspective on the day, especially if you're kind of like, if you work in front of a computer screen all day, you need to leave the house, because otherwise it's just so easy to sit there and never get up, and then you're going to watch TV later, or you're going to be on your computer again. Like, just go outside. So that is my daily checklist. I literally write every day in my notebook out the checklist, and I just check them off throughout the day as I do them. And it really makes you feel accomplished. Like at the end of every day, I have 7 things that I did for myself checked off. And like I said, these just keep you at like a good steady baseline. It's like maintenance for your brain and your body. So these are the things that I have found that really help me, and I hope if you're watching this video and you really feel like you need that extra help, that these things help you. I wish sometimes that I didn't have to do all of this every single day to just feel like a normal functioning person, but that's just me. That's what I have to do. So if that's what you have to do also, that's fine. Just take care of yourself, and honestly, you'll be better for it. Okay, that's the end of my checklist video. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. You can also like this video and subscribe to my channel. I also post lots of vlogs, NYC life content, yeah, and lots more to come. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.